Did Raekwon's The Emperor's New Clothes just raise the bar for OG rap albums? Let's talk about it. What's going on, y'all? It's your man Lighthouse, and you're now tuned into another episode of Everything Ain't For Everybody. And today we're talking about Raekwon's The Emperor's New Clothes album. Hip-hop is no longer the ephemeral voice of youth. It is the cultural mainstay, a generational continuum where artists like Raekwon the Chef aren't just participating, but actively defining what aging in rap can sound like. With his 8th solo album, The Emperor's New Clothes, Raekwon sidesteps the thirst traps of Gen Z pandering and streaming gimmicks, offering instead a finely woven tapestry of New York grit, cinematic bars, and grown man wisdom. This is a project carved out for 35 and up disciples who flooded Madison Square Garden for Wu-Tang Clan's possible final hometown show, a concert where Ray himself was both muse and messenger. Wearing a red Gucci apron like a warlord stepping out of a Fashion Week crime saga, Raekwon's MSG performance wasn't just nostalgic, it was prophetic. He shouted out the album throughout the set, and when it dropped, it delivered 17 tracks of unfiltered East Coast lyricism that's neither dated nor desperate. Ray understands his station in the game. This project, a follow-up to 2017's The Wild, finds him sharpening the same sword he's carried since Only Built for Cuban Links, which, as you know, is part of my sonic DNA. Ray appears this time with slower, deliberate swings, like a kung fu master who knows his opponent's next move before the first punch is thrown. Tracks like Bear Hill, The Guy That Plans It, and The Heavy showcase Raekwon alone in his chamber. He slowed the tempo, yes, but his pen remains precise. He paints in Dolomite tones, ornate yet visceral. On The Guy That Plans It, he scripts a swift, dirty vignette like a short film. There's no mistaking who's behind the mic. He raps like New York's incarnate, selling a line like a certain walk with a special bop, as if it was written in granite on an ancient monument. His imagery veers into cinematic with a verse like this one from Open Doors. They call me Louis Gaspipe. I'm like the mafia's worst kid. Bentley bicycles, 10 pistols, a sick bid. You don't just hear it, you see it, and you want to know what else Louis Gaspipe has done. What debts he's owed, what street he prowls. Ray's verses beg to be adapted into screenplays while Hollywood keeps recycling the same 5 franchises. Raekwon would have had a dope TV series if he got into the lane that 50 is in. I feel like most people from the old New York before the internet have ill ideas for movies. There's some of us who would have put a different twist on things, and Raekwon does this in his songs. Imagine if these songs were adapted to a screenplay. I feel like everything that Raekwon says is very, very visual, and he kind of places you right in the scene, and he always manages to kind of put the details of the moment. He's like putting the fabric of the occasion or the experience right there before your eyes. It's just like, you know, it's not very wordy, but it's just like the exact words that you need in order to understand him painting the picture for you. And that's what I love about Raekwon. Unlike the slightly misaligned cameos on Fila, The Emperor's New Clothes features collaborations to enhance, not dilute, the chef's flavor. Ghostface, Method Man, and Inspector Deck all make appearances, most memorably on 600 School, where the trio rides a Swiss Beats monster beat. I didn't expect this from Swiss. There's no extra Swiss hype on it. It's just a fire track with all the legends, and I fucks with it. Swiss is one of my favorite producers overall, and the synergy is intact. Nas also shows up on The Omerta, and while his bars detour into some eyebrow-raising historical interpretation, his hunger is palpable. Ray matches that energy with tactical precision. Elsewhere, Benny, Conway, and Westside Gunn join forces with Ray on Wild Cautions, a sonic brawl that feels both modern and mobbed up. When it comes to production, The Emperor's New Clothes affirms that Raekwon still possesses a finely tuned ear for the kind of beats that complement his cadence and worldview. The sonic palette is cohesive, curated with an energy that speaks directly to those of us raised on Cuban Links and the Clan mythology. Threading familiar motifs through fresh instrumentation, this isn't a relic, it's a reflection. built for the now. If there's any blemish on the track list, it's Deborah's Night Wine. The sample choice, which is Alec Costadino's Quasimodo's Marriage, left me feeling like, you know, I actually liked when Just Blaze did it on What's Your Life Like Part 2 for Beanie Siegel. I feel like, you know, the production on this joint, I don't know, the sample and how they flipped it just didn't hit me the right way. And I feel like Marsha Ambrosius, although very talented and beautiful in terms of her singing, she kind of oversins sometimes, and I feel like she overpowered the song. It was a dope idea for them to collaborate, but I just feel like it didn't really move me like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the more I listen to it, just like with most albums that I live with, you know, I'll eventually appreciate it. But, you know, I just felt like the sample, just for my taste. I'm not saying it's a terrible song. I feel like this album altogether is very dope. But just this song, I kind of was like, I could have did without it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's just my opinion. You know, if you like the song, that's fine. But other than that, this album is extremely solid. But despite that, The Emperor's New Clothes stands tall. Another chapter in the evolving saga of middle-aged rap greatness. Raekwon makes a convincing case for artistic longevity. As Malice of the Clips recently stated, either you got the talent or you don't. You can be old, you can be young. If you ain't got it, then you don't have it. And Raekwon still has it. The cape may be velvet, not bulletproof, but the crown still fits. And he wears it like it's stitched into his DNA. But that's my time, y'all. Thanks for watching another episode of Everything for Everybody. Make sure you share, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification button so that you have the latest and you get the notification of my latest episode, and you stay in tune, you stay tapped in. I appreciate all the support as always. Thank you for watching. Until next time, peace. Have a good weekend, y'all.